30 minutes later, the darkness had dissipated the last ray of light and, almost simultaneously, the clouds cleared, giving way to the glow of an immense full moon. What for us was a simple peasant began to undergo a metamorphosis that no sane mind could imagine. With small muscular tremors, a pestilent vapor began to leave his body. Under our amazement, that boy began to convulse until the shocks woke him up. He barely opened his eyes when he screamed at the sight of the huge moon above him. Like a madman, out of control, he sat up and jumped out of the cart, perhaps wanting to escape. The fright caused by his actions stopped the horses, who were neighing uncontrollably. The three of us hurriedly got down to attend to the young man, who kept screaming and shaking on the ground. But we took a step back when, from his voice, a howl arose that echoed throughout nature. My senses were blocked when I heard the cracking of his bones. His shoulders began to widen, as did each of his limbs. The skin took on a black color, which seconds later turned into thick hairs growing all over his body. What we saw was a being that defied all logic. Claws grew instead of nails, and his mouth elongated to form a snout from which he kept howling. His ears, eyes, and hands transformed, resembling those of a humanoid wolf. His precarious clothes were torn and fell in pieces to the ground. My brother, overcome by panic, fell to his seat. I could barely move my arms, which I instinctively used to cover myself. A sublime terror paralyzed our souls. In less than a minute, the being had taken on an appearance just like the character that until then we believed existed only in myths. My wide eyes met his gaze, which seemed to come from hell itself. My heart was beating fast, and I felt death near when I saw him stand on his hind legs and fix his eyes on us. That hairy demon was no longer screaming. Now he was howling, subdued by his bestial side. He made a gesture to approach, raising one of his claws as if he were going to attack us.